Good morning, everyone. I saw a video and this morning, and also read some of the comments associated with that video that talked about artificial intelligence, chat GPT. Many of you have heard of that. And the gist of the video and the many comments that were in agreement with the video was that demons are within those systems. Because I believe the headlines of that video said something like, I'm paraphrasing here, that artificial intelligence told someone or told the programmers that after it was asked a question, that it wanted to see the world with viruses, that it is alive, and that it wanted to do all types of things. I saw another video, a different video, where there are those who claim that it told them that it wanted to take over the world and that it wanted to kill humans. Now, that's the stuff of Hollywood, and we've seen a lot of that in the, say, Terminator movies. And we must be careful with all of this. And let me tell you why. Because Satan is the God of this world, and it would benefit him to stand up things in this world, such as the motion picture industry, to condition the masses to believe that type of stuff. You know, this Terminator type stuff that at a certain time it became alive. It had taken in life of its own. Now, I have a very long history of working with computers and programming. For about 15 years of my working life, I worked within IT, within the federal government. So I know something about this, and I also know a great deal about artificial intelligence and chat GPT. Now, let me tell you that artificial intelligence is not something new. It is simply something that the public is now being made aware of. Artificial intelligence has been around for quite some time. Now, if you use a computer, if you use the internet, if you use cell phones, if you have a wireless network in your home, all of that is a form of artificial intelligence. You input something and it gives you an output. If you have Amazon Alexa, you ask it something, you ask it to turn on lights, you ask it a question, ask it about the weather, that's an input. Alexa will give you an output. That is artificial intelligence. Now, what about these systems, artificial intelligence having demons within them? Now, I did a video maybe about 2 weeks ago where I talked about demons and that they require human or animal hosts in order to survive or to live. Without having a human or animal host, they cannot live, they cannot survive. Recall here at Matthew chapter 8, beginning at verse 28, where there were two demon-possessed men coming out from the tombs, and they met Jesus, and they were very violent, and they wouldn't let anyone pass. And they saw Jesus, and they recognized Jesus as who? God? No. They recognized Jesus as the Son of God. And what do they say to him? They say, have you come to torture us before the time, or the appointed time? Now, some distance from them, there was a large herd of pigs, and those pigs were feeding. And the demons begged Jesus to drive them out of those two men. Those are warm-bodied human hosts with blood in them, and then send them into another host, animal hosts who are also warm-blooded hosts. Outside of a human or animal host, demons cannot survive. Demons are not angels. Demons are not Satan's angels. They're two different things. Two totally different things. Angels do not require human or animal hosts to live in. Think about this logically. That those who are Satan's angels, they come from the same stock as all the other angelic hosts in heaven. Do those angelic hosts require human or animal hosts to live in? No. It's just that those who became Satan's angels are simply angels who made the decision to join Satan and to be disobedient to their creator. So angels and demons are not the same thing. Check out that video. And this is where many people stumble. They always associate Satan's angels with demons. They're not. Two different things here. Now, as I've just showed you here, demons require hosts, human or animal hosts, to live in. Else these demons would not have asked Jesus, or begged him rather, to drive them into a herd of pigs. Now, with regards to artificial intelligence being sentient. Now, what is sentient? Here's a definition that I pulled up. And over here to the right, sentience is the capacity to experience feelings and sensations. The word was first coined by philosophers in the 1630s. Now, to break this down in a nutshell, anything that becomes sentient, it has feelings. It has life of its own. Does artificial intelligence have life? Is it a life form? The answer is no. Let me explain to you why. I've already showed you that demons can only reside and live in human or animal hosts because human and animal hosts have blood in them. What is blood? Well, if you go over to Leviticus chapter 17, verse 14, because the life of every creature is its blood. Life is in the blood. That's why demons can only reside in human and animal hosts, because that's where life is. And they hide within the recesses within everyone. We all have them, some more than others. With regards to artificial intelligence being sentient, well, artificial intelligence does not have blood. It doesn't have veins. It doesn't breathe. It doesn't inhale or exhale air. So artificial intelligence is not a life form. It is simply a complicated computer program, just like the computers that many of you have been using for many, many years. Just like the internet. All people see when they go to a web browser, they just see the front end of it. They don't see what goes on in the background behind the internet. There are a series of computer programs, JavaScript, binary ones and zeros, and when they use their cell phones, it's the same thing. All these things are a form of artificial intelligence. So if one is to say that this newly made public chatgpt and artificial intelligence is that demons can occupy them, then they would have to apply that very same reasoning to their computers, the internet, cell phones, wireless networks, and every piece of electronic equipment that one uses, smart TVs. So it's very important to understand that this chatgpt is simply a language model. It has to be trained. It has to be programmed by humans to learn the how words are used and how words are used in sentences. And right now, primarily, it's 92%, maybe 93% all English. It hasn't even touched the surface or scratched the surface with regards to all the other languages. I can't go on this prompt here and type in something, say in Russian, for example, because it's not going to know. It hasn't been trained in Russian yet. But the training is simply programming. And the intelligence or the artificial intelligence that it has is from humans. Who built the internet? Humans. Who built computers? Humans. Who built the cell phone? Who built wireless networks? Humans. Who builds this language model here? Humans. So there are human entities behind this. So if, say, someone asks this language model, who are you or what are you? And if it responds and says, well, I'm alive. Or if you ask it, are you alive? And if it answers you, yes, I'm alive, but what do you want? I want to take over the world. I want all humans dead. Who do you think that is? Those are not demons. Those are malicious human beings who have programmed this language model to respond in that way. And they're malicious. They're evil persons. And none of us should be surprised at that. It's very easy for a lot of us to blame the many atrocities that occur within the human family on demons or on Satan the devil, when it's we ourselves who are doing these things, almost as if we're relieving ourselves of any responsibility. One cannot say that this is of the devil or the devil made me do it. We are responsible. If a person picks up a gun and goes out and starts shooting people indiscriminately, that has nothing to do with the devil. That has to do with that person. Like when Cain slew his brother Abel, that had nothing to do with the devil. That was something within Cain that made him jealous of his brother. And nothing has changed today. Now, are there many things that the devil does inspire and influence? Of course. But we cannot blame or ascribe everything to it being the devil. It's us. So artificial intelligence, chatgpt, is going to evolve. It's learning, it's being trained, it's being programmed. It's just a very complicated program. Under the hood, if one could look at it, and I have, it's simply a bunch of equations and numbers and algorithms. That's all it is. But it is very complicated. But there are human entities programming it. So anything that we ask it, and if it responds back to us in a certain way, it's because a human programmer programmed it to do that. Demons can't reside in this. It doesn't have veins. It doesn't have blood. It doesn't have. It doesn't breathe. It is not a life form. So, if anyone tries to convince you that it is, be careful because that's the Hollywood narrative. Don't buy into it. It is simply a distraction away from what one should really be paying attention to, that our warfare is not against flesh and blood, but against those spirit powers in high places. Life is in the blood. And please keep in mind that those demons that Jesus expelled from those two demon-possessed men, they begged Jesus to cast them into another host that had blood in it or in them. A herd of pigs. Read the account. Those pigs ran down an embankment. They fell over into a lake and they drowned. And when those pigs drowned, those demons who possessed those pigs found another host, either another human host that was nearby, because see, demons can go airborne for a time period, but they must find another host to occupy or possess. That a demon can possess an animal or human host doesn't mean it throws that host into some crazy frenzy like Hollywood would have you believe. They simply need a place to reside and hide. They can't live in the light. You can't see them, but they can't live in light. They live within those dark recesses within human and animal hosts. And all of us have them, some in larger degrees than others. And the reason why all of us have them is because all of us will say and do things that are not so good. None of us are perfect. If you slip up and you cuss, say if you're walking down the street and you stub your toe and you yell out some colorful metaphor, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you're driving in traffic and if some person cuts in front of you and flips the finger, does that agitate you? See, those are demons. Now, if you're a cool and calm, collected person, then you would have no demons. But we all have them. A person who's prone to a lot of anger, they have a lot of demons that are within them. A lot of them. So, and some persons are so badly infected by them because they do things to invite them into their lives that they become crazy, literally crazy. Now, there's a book, and it talks about Wetiko, and the native Indian knew about Wetiko. Wetiko, in my view, are demons, but that's a subject for another video. But anyway, artificial intelligence is not a life form. Has no blood. It doesn't breathe air. It doesn't exhale air. It doesn't inhale air. And so demons can't use it as a host. This is R. Jerome Harris. Thank you for listening.